Welcome to GKey Solutions Private Limited. SQL Server Database, Interview Questions and Answers. Question number 8. The difference between temporary table and table variable in SQL Server Database.
In this session, we are going to discuss about the difference between temporary table and table variable in SQL Server Database. We start with temporary table. The temporary tables are created in TempDB database, which is a system-defined database with the prefix hash. And the temporary table behaves like a regular table, and it can have indexes, constraints, and statistics. We'll discuss about the topic statistics in real-time scenario with SSMS, that is called SQL Server Management Studio. And third point is like scope. The scope of temporary table is session or the connection. Once you close the session or the connection, the temporary tables are automatically deleted from the database. And it is good for large data sets and when a query optimizer needs statistics. Okay. Example, to create a hash table or a temporary table, it is something like this. Create table, hash, table name, employee ID integer, name varchar, salary decimal. These are the data types. And we can insert the data as here we have discussed are given, and we can select the data from temporary table like this with the commands or statements has been given. And coming to the next topic, that is table variable. Table variables are declared using declare at the rate syntax. Table variables stored in memory but spills to temporary DB internally if it gets larger and larger. The table variables has limited support. There is no statistics, but in case of temporary tables there are statistics, and table variables are limited indexes. Scope of the table variable is only within the batch, a procedure or function. It is good for small data sets or when you want faster, lightweight temporary storage. Example, we can create a table variable like this. Declare at the rate table employees table. Here at the rate table employees is table variable, and we have to be with table in this way. Declare at the rate table variable table, and in that we are going to create 3 columns like employee ID, name, salary. And in the same way how we have inserted data into temporary table, we can insert the data into table variable as well, and we can select the data from the table variable also. And coming to the key differences between temporary table and table variables, we have different features, like we'll discuss one by one. Coming to the point of declaration, temporary table, the syntax is like create table hash table name, whereas coming to the table variable, declare at the rate table name table. The scope of temporary table is session or connection or a procedure, whereas coming to table variable, batch, procedure or function is the scope. Coming to the storage, temporary tables are stored in TempDB with statistics, whereas the storage point of view for table variable is primarily memory, spills to TempDB if it is get larger and larger. Coming to the point of indexes, temporary tables explicit indexes allowed. For table variables, only primary key and unique key constraints are allowed. Coming to the statistics, which is the important point that we are discussing from the beginning of this session, is like for temporary tables there are statistics. Yes, it helps optimizer for joins. For table variables there is no statistics. Optimizer assumes whole data into one row. Coming to the next point, performance. For temporary tables, it is better for large and mid data sets. For example, if you are having larger data sets or mid-sized data sets, we go and create temporary table, and we can use the temporary table for better performance for the large data sets. Whereas coming to the table variable, it is better for small data sets. That means if you are handling the data sets with limited records. Coming to the next point, like transaction rollback. Transactions are rolled back with transaction for temporary tables, whereas for table variables, it persists within the scope. Scope in the sense, the batch, a procedure, or a function. Coming to the last point, use case. We can use temporary variables or temporary tables in complex queries, joins large volumes of data. Whereas coming to the table variable, we can use it in small lookups, parameter passing, or something like that. This is the different key differences between temporary table and table variable. Here we have a note here. There is something like, in SQL Server, statics are metadata objects that store information about the distribution of values in the column or index. They help the query optimizer to decide the most efficient execution plan. For example, whether to use an index seek, index scan, or hash join. These are the different efficient execution plans which are available in SQL Server database. In such a way, statistics are helpful. For temporary tables, we are having statistics, and table variables, we are not having statistics. Finally, coming to the summary. In summary, use temporary tables like hash tables when handling large data sets. Joins and statistics are required for this. Whereas coming to the use of table variables, when handling small data sets, lookups or parameter lists, we can go for table variables. And we'll see these concepts in SSMS called SQL Server Management Studio practically with real-time scenarios. See, now we are in SSMS and we are in a database called demo at GKey, and we'll see the real-time usage scenarios. First of all, we'll just see selecting data from sys.objects table. By executing this one, it will show all the objects available in the system. That is called SQL Server database. These are all system tables. No need to create any of these things. These are the system tables that helps for other objects in the database to select all the system tables. This is the query sys start. Select star from sys.objects. We can see all the objects created, their name, object ID, principal ID, schema ID, like type of description. We can see it is a system table. There are different types of tables we are having, like internal tables, service queue, something like that. There will be different system objects. We are just selecting sys.objects. We can see all the system objects which are available that can be used to test temporary table and table variable in these scenarios. Okay, first we are going to see temporary table, how we are going to create it practically. We are just setting statistics IO on, set statistics time on. Why? Because to check what are the different statistics are going on for the further queries or for the statements that we are working. We have to just execute these two commands first, then only we can see the statistics for the statements that we are going to execute. As we explained for temporary table, in this way we can create a temporary table. Create table hash temp employees. This is the name of the temporary table and the columns are like employee ID, department ID, salary. We are going to create this table. Yeah, see here it is giving statistics of this particular command that we have executed, and it has taken 1 microsecond time. This is the different time slot it has been assigned for the CPU time, elapsed time, something like that. See here we are inserting 1 lakh rows for testing. See how we are inserting. We are insert into employees. We have created a temporary table. We are inserting values for employee ID, department ID and salary, and we are selecting these values to be inserted from top 1 lakh records. From which table? System objects. No need to get into understand all these things. I'll just explain what these things are going to. This row number function is going to give for every record there is a row number will be generated, and this line of code is going to generate a random integer between 1 to 10 every time it is executed, and this line of code is going to give you or generate a random salary between 30,000 and 79,999,000 with 2 decimal precision from system objects, and we are cross joining with the same table. We are giving alias name as B. Here it is generating these records and we are cross joining with the same table with different alias name. Okay, we are going to execute this line of code and we'll see what is the data inserted in hash temp employees table. See, it has given the execution plan, how it got executed, what have been done, the scan count, logical reads, the physical reads. These are all the statistics that are going to be given for a particular bunch of query once we set the statistics in this session. Okay, here 10,201 rows are affected. Let's see what are those rows inserted here. See, in this first we have created hash table like temporary table, and we have inserted around 10,000 of records from sys.objects table. We'll see what are the records inserted from this. See, 10,201 rows have been inserted from sys.objects table. See, we can see the count also. We have created the 3 columns. One would be the department number. We have inserted department ID and count as total count from employees. This is a query where department ID is equal to 5 and group by department ID. Let's see. Here, the first thing here we have inserted 10 to 10 departments, but here we are only displaying data for 5th department and we are counting what are the number of records which have been inserted for this hash table. Once again, we did not select full block of code. Now see, for the department number 5 we got 1029 records. In this way, hash tables or temporary tables are used. These are going to give you the statistics. Okay, to see the statistics we have to set statistics on, statistics IO on and statistics time on as well. Then we can go and create a hash table and we are inserting a bunch of records from sys.objects table, and we are cross joining with the same table to get bunch of records, and we are selecting what are the records have been inserted into the hash table, and we have for particular where condition also for particular department number count also. If you want to see, you can use this kind of a query to display. Here what happened, this block we can execute one time, this block also we can execute one time, and this block we can execute one time, and this block we can execute one time. This is like a table, but it exists only for this session. See, this is one session, this is one session. If you open another session, this would be another session. To check that one, see, this is the table that we have created, right? We'll just select this table in another session. We'll see whether it is we have given like this. See, invalid object name. That means this only available for this session only. This is called temporary tables are only for that particular session. If you want to have for all these sessions this table, we have to create this table by using double hash. But even though once we close this SMS, then we can't see this hash table or temporary double hash tables. In this way, temporary tables are designed and used for the real-time purposes. Now we can go and see the next scenario, that is real-time usage scenario for table variable. For example, for this also we are using the same block of query that we have used for temporary tables. We are setting the statistics IO on and time on, and we are creating, see the difference we can see here. While executing this one, the table variable has been created. Okay. And coming to insertion, we are inserting the same data that we have inserted with temporary tables. See, must declare the table variable. Here, the declaration of the variable we can do individually, but to insert data into the table variable, we have to declare the table variable first, and we have to insert the data, and along this we can do only the data is going to be inserted in the table way. But coming to the temporary tables, we can create the temporary table like a table. First we can create table as a block of statement, then we can insert, then we can select all the statements individually, we can like execute, but here it is not going to happen. To insert the data, first we have to declare the variable, and this whole block of code we have to execute, then only the data is going to be inserted in temporary table. Now see, these are the statistics. Statistics are not on for, we have on the statistics, but it doesn't use the statistic. The different scans are available. You can dig more into the different scans are available, but for table variables there is no statistics available. Okay. And coming to just selecting the data or counting the data only for department number 5, if you execute this one, see the table variable, we cannot execute the table variable individually. Again we have to declare, we have to insert, and we have to select the data. In this way only we can do this. This table like table variable will be used for a particular function or a procedure or a block of code. In this way, individually we can't execute the table variable. We have to execute a total block of the code. Here first we are declaring a table variable, we are inserting the data in the next step, and we are selecting only department number 5 and counting the total number of records over there. In this way we can create table variables. And as we discussed in the previous slide, there are quite different like differences between temporary table and table variables. The main point is like the temporary tables are used for large data sets, whereas table variables are used for small data sets, or if there is parameters we can go for table variables. And coming to the statistics, temporary table allows statistics, whereas table variables doesn't allow statistics. This is the main difference points and real-time scenarios that we have seen in SSMS, that is called SQL Server Management Studio. Thank you.
Stay connected with GKey IT solutions on all your favorite platforms. Follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest content. Join the GKey community and grow your IT career with us.